Alrighty. Man, it feels like a bit since I've done something like this. Still kind of reeling from the finale itself. But, of course, Fairy Tail Rebirth, for those of you who don't know, Fairy Tail Rebirth is a roleplay series that was made off of another series, or at least with the character Kyo was kind of carried on from another series called Fairy Tail Lost Magic. It was a series a long time ago that was jointed along with other groups and stuff, but eventually got split up and everyone went their own ways, and I kind of did my own thing, which of course created Fairy Tail Rebirth. Fairy Tail Rebirth honestly started off as something small. There was never a big idea behind it, and there was never a big, massive plan for it. I say in the beginning, you could tell in the beginning the episodes weren't that complex. They're pretty simple, either introductions or small minor character interactions and development. Small things, so you could tell it was something brewing, but nothing really concrete was there. It was really the fans of the series that really picked up interest for me. Interest far as like, oh, in the small thing that it was, and along with the cast, they enjoyed it so much that they wanted more out of it. You know, well, yes, they were content with having fun and putting all together these mini stories with their characters. They were also like hungry, and they were very tempted to do more. They wanted more. They really want this to be its own concrete, like its own thing. They want it to be concrete. More so apparent for Secret, because this series really it was a really make or break moment for her. And I'm very happy and proud of her that this series really lifted her from where she was as a small creator to where she is now, to where she's able to put together compelling things and be confident in the things that she's doing. So it's nice to see that confidence slowly growing. It's why I gave her that opportunity in the character Kira to really help boost that confidence and bring something I knew Secret always had out of her that she didn't know she had, but I knew she had. And I knew she had the confidence. I knew she was capable of doing something like this. So that's why I put her in front. Piper's been doing things for a really long time. This is not her first rodeo with RPs, but I'd say this is probably her first RP where it was more like group related. I could be wrong, but I feel like as far as like from what I experienced and what I've seen, obviously being the main guy in, control, I could say this was probably her first time doing something like this. At least to this level. I'm pretty sure she's been a part of many mini-series where she's been a POV for things, but I don't think they were as big as Fairy Tail Rebirth far as like where it was going. You had Kara, aka, Potato. Potato's great in every way, shape, or form. Great person, great human being. I have worked with her for a really long time. This was the first time that she was a POV for something that I was running, and I gotta say, it was an experience with her life support computer, her life alert meeting laptop. That's a word and a sentence. Then you have Amaris, Ace. Obviously, people who don't remember Ace or know Ace. Ace has been around for a really long time. He's come from other groups and then joined Key Productions. Ace has been a very, very, very big help for me as a creator and as a person, because the one thing about content creation is it may seem easy, and in some ways it is, but really at the end of the day, there's a lot of things that go into it. It's not just about simply recording and putting together something simple. It's not about fancy edits, and it's not even about being different. It's more so about keeping the motivation and the energy to keep going what you are doing. And I have to say, the thing I am very appreciative for when it comes to Ace is that he was really able to, I guess, not really meet me halfway, but go along with me as far as like my ideas and everything that I was putting together and the amount of time I was spending on it. He really kept me going and allowed me to continue to push this out without giving up. Eventually, at some point, I just stopped enjoying putting together the series, and it's no fault of anybody. It's no fault of the cast, no fault of the fans. It's just simply a me thing. As a person, I've always struggled to enjoy the things I create, as I always think what I do is mediocre, and I don't think that I have any capabilities of creating anything that could be life-changing or inspiring in any way, shape, or form. And that's just me. Of course, many other people are going to tell me otherwise, but to me, I don't think I have the capability to be the next big thing, if that's what, that's what people aim for. When it comes to content creation, you want that platform, you want that audience, you want all of that. And I don't see myself being that guy. I don't see myself being one of those people who's going to ever be at that level. I'm very humble and appreciative that I just get to simply work with these guys and give them the platform to show what they can do, not only to you guys, but to themselves, to prove a point to themselves, to gain confidence, grow as a person for each and every single one of them as individuals. That's what I enjoy most out of my job. I really never have cared whether or not this would pop off. And yes, it did pop off. I will say, Fairy Tail Rebirth popped off in a big way. Not what I was expecting, but it popped off. Very, very grateful and thankful to you guys for, giving this a chance, as my channel has always been known to make FNAF content. And leaving FNAF content, I wasn't sure what the reaction would be to something like this. And I am grateful that you guys, you guys, old and new audience, were able to give this a chance and give me a chance, and really stick around and see what I was doing. So at the end of the day, the end of the message for this part of the video, if you skip this part, that's fine. I'm not gonna be mad at you. But it's thank you. I appreciate your kindness. I appreciate you guys giving me the time of day when you guys could be watching anybody else on the platform. I so very much appreciate you guys giving me all of your time. Why did it end around 30 instead of, I don't know, maybe 100 something episodes? Why wasn't the series bigger than it was supposed to be? Well, that's simple. The series was never supposed to be anything. It was supposed to be a one and done, wipe my hands clean of it and move on. I've never been one to do really seasonal stuff because I never expect them to go anywhere. I don't expect people to enjoy them in the long term. Example of that could be my FNAF series. I had tried doing an extra season and it flopped. So in my opinion, I thought I was better at doing one and dones than I was at doing anything seasonal wise or anything extensive. I didn't think I was good at it. I didn't think I was capable. And now keep in mind, I am a writing team of one. I am a one-man army. I do everything on my own. The exceptions being the thumbnails and the animations and the skins. That's all done by other members of the team. However, you gotta keep in mind, I am the editor, I am the producer, I put together everything that you see these guys do. It is my job, it is what I love to do, and I'm not one to work in teams. I know somebody would say hire a writing team. I never could work in teams. I've tried it multiple times, and if you watch Lost Magic, you can definitely tell the difference between, working together and me working on my own. I am a very complex individual mentally, to where if I know I want something done a certain way, I'm going to do it a certain way, and I prefer nobody get in my way for what I want to do. And again, it's just me, a personal thing. I think writing teams are great. They do definitely help in the long run for bigger things. but personally, me as a content creator, I like doing things on my own. As I stand now, I don't see myself being around for very long. Now, that doesn't mean that the group, aka, the group that you see doing the recordings with me, that they'll be gone. No, they'll still continue to thrive and do things, I'm pretty sure, without me. But in the long run, I don't really see myself being a part of major things anymore. And maybe that'll change. Maybe I'll change my mind throughout the years if things continue to look up. The endings. Let's start with the main ending. The main ending involving the hunters. Now, when it came to planning out these endings, of course, me and Secret, Kira and Kyo being the exceptions, we had two separate pathways because in the story, obviously, Kira's story was a lot more diverse, and Kyo's story was a lot more heavy focused on one thing, that I figured it was best that me and Secret have our own separate endings, where the main ending would stick with the main cast. The whole thing built from the beginning, Bice's kidnapping, and, getting to the point to where we save Bice with the hunters. That was the goal, that was the thing, and that was the aim. And yes, that always remained the same. It was never going to change. However, what most people do not know, possibly if you did not see Piper's or Ruka's POV for the ending, is you didn't see what 90% of the time and effort into the finale went into, and that is the finale scene animation that was created for that ending. Cliffhanger ending changed. It originally was not supposed to be what it was, which, spoiler alert, was Ruka getting shot. That wasn't supposed to be the original ending. It was actually supposed to be a little bit darker. But I toned down and I decided that I was going to go with that ending, as I think it was good for what it was. It didn't need to be any more, it didn't need to be more extreme, should I say. All endings have ended off on really sad cliffhangers. Kira, Ruka, and Kyo. So it was definitely a decision that was made by everybody in the cast. That we went for a sad ending. And of course, me liking cliffhangers, I went with a cliffhanger. That's the main ending. The main ending was pretty simple. It was always going to remain the same, and that was going to the Hunters base, and that was getting Bice and revealing, with the reveal that Bice was part of the Hunters. That, not from the beginning, I don't want to get no one confused. Bice was not always part of the Hunters. The big brute that you see, that you saw in the Talon episode, the one that was accompanied by Talon, that was Bice. Bice had joined the Hunters, and in the reveal in the animation, it was revealed that Bice was the big brute that Talon had at his hand. So that was the cliffhanger for that. That was the big moment there. That was that ending. That ending had remained the same. I'm really proud of that ending, and I'm really, really thankful to Dado for putting together that exactly as I imagined it and exactly as I visioned it. We worked. When I say worked, he did everything, but I was there in a call with him while we kind of directed and bounced ideas off of each other as far as what we could do to make it the way we wanted. So big shout out to Dado. Dado is great. He does mostly the models, everything you see from wings, ears, tails. Anything you see from any series of mine is all handiwork from Dado. Kira's is probably my favorite because, well, let's just say it was very dark, With Secrets, we did not know what we were going to do at first. We knew that eventually the aim of her going back home after everything that she had gone through her POV would have made the most sense. What we came up with, I'm very proud, and the plans that we have for Kira going forward are I'm looking forward to everybody seeing that. So Kira's ending ended up being sad. Now to explain Kira's ending, she went home, she interacted with the same tree, if anybody remembers the tree that she came to this world in. She had interacted with that tree, and she went, quote unquote, home, only to come to find out that her home was a complete and utter void. There was nothing of it. It was just void. It's pretty sad. And she starts to question what happened, what went wrong, and all of a sudden things go dark. She sees two different doors. One's glowing, one's just pitch black. And two voices happen to come out of those doors. The glowing door happens to be Kira's voice, while the darker door happens to be a mysterious woman's voice. Now, obviously, Kira takes more interest in the mysterious woman, losing interest in herself, aka losing herself. With Kira's character, Kira was the most dense and naive character that kind of didn't really know right from wrong. And what we wanted to do, with Kira finally showing some emotion and finally looking at things as, the way she should have, which is basically things being her fault. It was interesting that we had Kira kind of look at this as like she's losing herself. And of course, in the end, Kira part ways with Kira. She gave up. She basically turned her back on who Kira is and decided to turn to the dark side. So that is Kira's ending. Post credits is the reveal of the mysterious woman. So for people who are curious about who the heck that was, no, that's not Kira. That's not who Kira turned into. That was the mysterious woman, the mysterious voice that Kira followed. That's that woman. She'll be revealed in the future, but that's that woman. Secret has definitely outdone herself. The day we put together that plan, we probably recorded all the scenes for it like the next day or two. And I edited the whole thing. I put it together. I put every ounce of energy into making sure it was good because I wanted it to be good, because I knew how much Secret's audience really cared about what she was doing with Kira. And I couldn't be more proud and happy for her. So I had to put everything into her episode to make sure it was tip top. Like, that was probably the best editing I've ever done in my entire life. So I have kudos to me for that. Pats on the back there. The form that Kira takes a part of, which I don't think anybody really picked up on, it is much more a darker form. If people don't know, the moment that Kira is in the dark, when the camera pans down, I don't know if people will pick up on it, but you'll notice that Kira starts to lose a little bit of color, a little bit of shade. It's supposed to represent a new form that we had made for her that you guys will see a lot more of in the future. But we thought we'd give you guys a little tease, a little glimpse of it. And it definitely, what Kira's going to do is definitely going to be very different and very exciting. So now we get to the final one. The final POV that had the most controversy to it, which just so happened to be mine. Of course mine had controversy to it. Why did Kyo die? Why is that the direction that I went with? Why did I kill off Kyo in his first season, the first season? Why did I do it? Kyo's character from the beginning had saw a drastic change. In the beginning, Kyo's character was definitely more kind of edgy, emo, that's the vibes he gave. But overall, as the series went on and we added more characters, Kyo's character started to change. Now, no, that's not a sudden thing. No, that wasn't done on accident. No, that was done purposely. Kyo had saw change in every single person, because slowly or surely, as he started to lose interest in these characters, slowly but surely, he also gained interest in these characters. The more they stuck around him, the more he changed, the more he went soft. And for people who don't know, or if you never heard it before, because I think I've said it once or twice, but in this series, magic, The power that magic does, the damage, the effect, everything, all depends on your emotions, your feelings. If you were to let your feelings and emotions go, you would feel immense power. You'd feel unstoppable. You wouldn't be unstoppable, you'd feel unstoppable. But the more emotions that you pour into yourself, the more if you're an emotional wreck, like sad, happy, mad, blah, 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 all that stuff. If you have a weak emotion like sad, happiness, or depression, your magic will have no effect. Your magic will not be strong at all. You won't really gain much of a difference in power. So that's why when, the reveal of Kyo's form, which the Berserk form, that's what it's called, the form that you guys all saw, that was the Berserk form. At that point, Kyo was not happy. He was sad. He was defeated. He was everything under the sun that you could think that was very negative. He reached a point to where he just gave up. From the beginning from the point of Talon coming back, Kyo had already given up on that point. He had already given up on everything. And the reveal of Kyo, the character, as you see on screen, that character, Kyo was revealed to be Dark. That's his actual name. You have Dark, and then he was having his introduction here with Light, which was the POV. So, Dark had already given up on everything from the point of Talon's introduction. He gave up. After losing to Talon, which nobody saw that. There was a plan for a fight to happen, like a scene to happen to show Adrian getting kidnapped, but that plan was scrapped. Why it was scrapped? It was because it didn't want to put too much work on Dato's plate. After being defeated by Talon the first time and Adrian's kidnapping, Dark had given up. He basically accepted his fate. He accepted the fact that he was just going to lose. He knew going into the fight with Talon that he wasn't going to come out of it alive. He had no motivation and nothing really pushing him forward to keep fighting. Which is why I decided on the direction of his finale being that the people that he had turned down, the people he turned away, the people he wanted nothing to do with, were the people who gave him his last stamp, his last chance, the one that pushed him to achieve the Berserk form. Its originality came from, because Kyo's an elf. So the Berserk form is supposed to be a version of a dark elf, like an evil elf, basically. The form was more so a bluff. So with that form, while yes, Kyo does gain a bit of power, a bit of a power shift, it's nothing noticeable. In fact, I'd say compared to Talon, you guys who love power scales, Talon probably exceeds 90% of the main cast besides the Magic Council. He was stronger than the main original cast. He was stronger than all of them. All those mages, he was stronger than them. So, keep in mind, Berserk form Kyo, when Kyo's in his Berserk form, let's say he's probably only stronger than freaking Ruka and Luca and Kira combined. As far as where the Berserk form level was, I'd say he was maybe almost on par with Raya, and that's it. And Raya's only a lightning mage, while Kara, on the other hand, which was revealed in the finale for Ruka, it was revealed that Kara showed a new form, which her new form, as you saw the scales, you could assume, yes, Kara was a dragon. Kara had a dragon form, and her dragon form, in that form, Kara became the most powerful mage out of the main cast. I'd say Milo's level 2, Raya's level 3, and the Berserk form for Kyo was probably like a close tie with 3, and that's it. It was nothing crazy, it was never meant to win, nothing like that. So why was it rushed? Why was the death rushed? Just like the finale, I could have had a cool animation plan. I could have had a whole fight scene plan, and I did. But again, at the end of the day, when you have all these ideas, when you have all these things you're doing, the one thing I want you guys to keep in mind is we're all human. There's only so much that we can do. And there's also a thing called burnout. And I already had Dato make the finale. I put everything into the main finale for the main cast. I put all my energy and my chips into them and focused on me last. Secret can attest to that. So when it came to my finale, I didn't give no craps about how it came out or if it was good, because at the end of the day, I wanted them to be good. And that's honestly why my ending didn't seem as on par with the rest of them. And I wanted to give Secret the send-off, the proper ending, sorry, not send-off, the proper ending that she deserved for how hard she's been working. And with me, I will honestly say I underestimated how much people enjoyed Dark's character. I underestimated it by a massive amount, because I'm not gonna lie, well, yes, there were a lot of people who joined the fan server and put art in for Kyo. I did not think most people gave a crap about his character. I'm not gonna lie. So in my mind, I was like, I could easily just kill him off and nobody would bat an eye. But when I killed him off, when I tell you the amount of people who were not happy, aka sad or just disappointed, it surprised me because I didn't expect people to be attached to Dark's character. What's next? What's after this? What's happening? What's the ending? What's the post-credits? Why was Dark seen? Why was it Dark? Why was he seen? Now, the post scene, right? It was supposed to show, the post scene's there for a reason. It is basically Dark pinned against a tree with a bunch of arrows in him. And then a glow happens, and then the screen cuts. Now, I will say, don't get too many theories. Don't get anything twisted. No, Dark is not coming back. No, he's not alive. Kyo's character is gone. That was the end of the Kyo character. That was the send-off. I will say, for those who are fans of Dark and have gained interest in Dark's character, you're in luck, because I do have two things. Well, I have something planned along with my other announcement. There's no theories to be made. It's basically Light and Dark, they shifted and they switched. Light regained his life back. That's all that was supposed to be seen. Now, I didn't want to reveal what Light looks like or what he's going to look like. That's for the future. What is next? For people who have not seen the main ending, okay, the ending on Ruka's side. If you have not seen that, and if you have not seen the post-credits, you would not know what's next. You would just assume this is the end. But, of course, in the comments, both on Secret and my side, we had confirmed there is a Season 2. There is a Season 2 being worked on. There is something in the works as a continuation of this series. So, no, the series is not going anywhere. There is a continuation in the works. I'd advise everyone going to see the post-credits for Ruka's POV. I also advise you watching that because we put a lot, and I mean a lot of time into that animation and everything we put in there. So I really, really, really want people to go watch it if you haven't, because it's really good, and I really want people to see it. I really want people to get it out there. I really want you to share it. I want it to be what everybody else wants it to be. I want this series to go somewhere. I want it to be big, but not the sole purpose of it being big. I want this series to be the one series that inspires the old golden ages of communities for roleplays to come back and do what everybody loves to do, and that's just roleplay. Just doing what you enjoy and what you love. I miss that. I want that, and that's my goal. That's my aim, to encourage that. And hopefully with my series, I can do that. The Fairy Tail Rebirth name is gone. It's not being continued. The next season is not called Fairy Tail Rebirth Season 2. The series is being rebranded and renamed. Everything is being changed. And when I mean everything, I mean everything. Everything's being changed. The only thing that remains are the characters. The new name for the series is now being called Tales of Odell. With Fairy Tail Rebirth, as I said before in the beginning, it wasn't supposed to be a thing. But now that I see how important it is to the people that are not only a part of it, but the people who watch it, I now am working on making it its own mainstream, its own main line, its own thing, that maybe in the future, it could have a book. You can kind of look at it like an anime. You know, you eventually you start an anime, you finish it up, and then based on the reaction, there's a season 2. Based on the reaction, there's a season 3. Like, if you guys continue to, I guess, enjoy, like, and I guess share this with people, then the only right reward for you would be to grant you to continue to work on this for you. I'm doing it not only for you guys, but for the cast as well. So the more you guys like it, the more you guys continue to praise it, the more you guys continue to take interest, your theories, your art, everything, it's the more I will continue to give back to you, because it is what you deserve for everything you've done for me. That is not the only announcement. Of course, Tales of Odell is going to take a while, not a while, but it's going to take some time before anybody sees official episodes of it. You'll see a trailer once, it will have 1 or 2 trailers. I can confirm that. You're gonna see 1 or 2 trailers. There is something coming before it, but it's only exclusive to my channel. It's not gonna be on anybody else's, because for people who are interested in Dark's character and interested in Light's character, both characters, their story, not Kyo, but you know, those two separately. For people who are interested in that, I can confirm there is a side series in the works called The Story of Dark. It follows the story of Dark. Now, I know what you mean, and I know what you're thinking. You're like, well, if it's about Dark and Light, where's Light? Well, Dark's character features Light, and they kind of start in the same way. So you'll get some stuff of Light too, but the main priority is Dark. Like, he will be the main focus because he was the one who took a majority of Light's life away from him. So that is being worked on. That is the first thing you will see. You will see a trailer for the Story of Dark.
Into the shadows he will go, a blazing fire starts to glow. He walks alone the night, his spark, this is the story of Dark.